there. So today is March 17th, 2018. Happy St. Patty's Day. Here in downtown Portland on the waterfront. Doing a sea level training stint for some time. Staying with my parents out here in Oregon where I grew up. Well, not in Portland, but doing a 15K road race tomorrow. St. Patty's Day, what's it called? Shamrock Run. There's a lot of Shamrock runs along the waterfront here. So a bit rainy and wet down here, but it feels great to be here at sea level. Goal is to try to get in some faster paced running. 15K, 9.2, 9.3 miles. Faster than marathon race pace, more of a lactate threshold. Long type of workout. So conducts of training. Taper down to about 100 miles this week. Try to hit about 100 miles a week, which is down from 120 or about 160 kilometers per week. So still training with Boston in mind, but no, a little more than 4 weeks out. It's important to get in these long, hard efforts. It's been tough, I won't lie. I got tired. I wasn't as fit after Houston as I thought I'd be right away, getting leg speed back, but I feel like in the last 2 weeks things have really come around. Fitness is starting to show. Done some long runs over 20 miles fairly quickly now, and it's starting to pay dividends. So coming around at the right time. Still going to be close with Boston coming up, but hopefully the goal tomorrow is to get down here at sea level in decent conditions, not too hilly, or not too windy I should say. We'll see about that tomorrow morning. But get down here at Portland waterfront, some good competition, try to race my way into fitness. Doing a 15K, hopefully it'll be under 5:10 per mile pace. It is a somewhat hilly course. If you know Portland at all, there's some hills around here. We go up towards the Terwilliger Hills, Terwilliger Boulevard. So it's good for Boston. Good training. Get out here, relax at my parents' place where I grew up in the woods. Just for a little sea level stint. Mess around, juggling flaming torches, things like that. Hanging out with my dog. So yeah, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to guarantee exactly what kind of time you could run in a race, especially a marathon, especially on a course like Boston. And again, the thing with Boston probably scares me the most is the wind. You could have if you have a tailwind and you're good at hills, Boston's a lightning fast course. If you're not used to the hills, you could have a hard day at Boston. But if it's hot and there's a headwind, there's just a headwind in general, Boston would be a very slow course. And so you have to measure your effort over the hills, have to race well. A lot depends on the weather with what time you can run. Of course, I always go for place too and try to just run my best race, but 4 weeks out, it's definitely crunch time. Definitely feeling the pressure, but I'm optimistic, I'm confident. I think I could do it. Yeah, it's recording. Okay.
There they go! Open release here on our 15K. We're releasing the entire field. But again, your time your technology, so your official finish time will not be impacted by waiting.
the first finisher in our 15K, nearly simultaneously here at the finish line area.
Sub 5-minute miles, let's bring him on in. Professional runner sponsored by Hoka from Boulder, Colorado, Sage Canaday. Congratulations, Sage. He'll clock.
Alright, so here we are on Strava.com. Strava analysis of the 15K race. You can see the distance, super accurate course, and the GPS was picking up well. 9.3 miles, 15K. Average pace 5:05, 47:26. Pretty happy with that, and we could see that the effort here, this is my favorite part on Strava, by the way, so look at the elevation data and all this, is that the course had some climbing. It was 660 feet of climbing. It's about 200 meters, so you can see the elevation profile down here. It was just this gradual uphill through the first half and then basically downhill the second half. But the Twilger Hills, pretty decent hills in Portland, got some good grade going up that, and we could see the cadence, average cadence 184 steps per minute, nice and fast turnover. Sandy was emphasized that I should go out controlled on the uphills and not totally, so I could finish strong basically. So the idea was to run the downhills really hard, get the legs calloused for the downhills at Boston. At Boston, of course, the downhills happened first, but you could see these downhills, these faster mile splits in the second half. But it was partly because I paced myself on the uphill, and we did have a good lead pack that first mile. I like to look at these grade adjusted paces. Those are rough with Strava, but you could kind of see an idea of a more even pacing and the elevation change per mile, because that's pretty significant. Starting with an uphill mile at marathon goal pace essentially is a little discouraging, but grade adjusted pace was more like a 5:03 effort, and it felt like that because it had 80 feet of climbing. So you could kind of see that. Of course, I don't know this during the race how much climbing, but you could tell you're running uphill. And the second mile, 5:32, a significant amount of climb. And I had the guy who got second, Nick Roach, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing his name wrong. I looked him up because I like to see who I'm racing against afterwards, and he's a 14:19 5K runner, has a school record at Gonzaga, I believe, 8:59 in the 3K steeple. He's a very speedy guy, talented guy, a lot younger than me. He's in his early mid-20s, so there's a lot of room for improvement. He was tailing me through 3-4 miles here, and we put in a big effort on this hill at mile 4. 4:51 grade adjusted pace, but it was a 5:40 split. So 5:40 split going up this really steep pitch right down here, and I felt that effort, but I was able to get a little daylight there on him, and we had opened up from the other guys in the lead pack. Some very deep competition in Portland. Usually when you run a race in Portland, Oregon, that's a big running city, so a lot of competition to be expected, which was great because it gave me the adrenaline to push. And I crested the hill, and I thought of what Sandy said in terms of coaching tips and training me, and she's like, you need to move your legs fast on the downhill, fly on the downhill. So I see these clips on the downhill, mile 6 there, thanks to the diabetic, type 1. There's a person out there filming, and they gave me this video clip of coming down at mile 6 here. It was a 4:43 mile split. It was quite downhill, but even on the downhill, 4:43 is moving for me, so I kind of have trouble moving that fast sometimes. But that's I'll give credit to them. I'll link to their Instagram handle there in the video. But the next mile, there were some little U-turns, things like that. Last mile I was really proud of. I ran a 4:38 coming in at the finish there. It was downhill as well, but 4:38 mile, 9th mile, finishing strong. Great overall workout, great confidence booster for heading into Boston, because it was a hilly course and average significantly faster than marathon pace for almost the lactate threshold type of effort. It was an all-out effort for me, but in terms of time, 47-minute race, 60-minute race, you're looking at lactate threshold pace. But if that was on the flat, I feel like I could have run under 5-minute mile pace average, maybe even for 10 miles or a half marathon. So really good indicator, got the stride rate up and tapered a bit that week with 90 miles, but still focusing all 100% on Boston, still 4 weeks out when I did this race. So really good sign and just a great confidence booster. Great to get in at sea level for several days and get in this effort. And the data on Strava really shows that, so that's why we look at it.
But thanks so much for following along on this journey. Again, subscribe for more video updates heading into the Boston Marathon. I will do a mountain season after Boston regardless. Get into some summer mountain racing, doing the Golden Trail series, the Zagama Mount Blanc Marathon, Pikes Peak Marathon, to name a few, and do some of those races that I love, because I do miss the trails. But goal, of course, is to run 2:18 or faster at Boston. Definitely stay tuned for that. Let you in. Feel free to comment below future training talk topics you'd like to hear about, as well as any other stuff, questions you might have. Thanks for your support, guys. Really appreciate all the Patreon support. Check out my Patreon page in the description below, as well as subscribe on here. Check out our training plans, Sandy and I saw at stagerunning.com. It's our coaching site. Hope your running's going well. Stay tuned for more Stage Running videos.